The emotional turmoil of monkey branching. Relationships can be complex and emotionally challenging, especially when trust begins to waver. One of the most gut-wrenching experiences in a relationship is the suspicion that your partner is monkey branching. This term refers to the unsettling behavior where someone keeps their options open by maintaining connections with potential future partners while still in a relationship. The emotional impact of monkey branching can be devastating, leaving you questioning your worth and the authenticity of your relationship. It's not just about the fear of betrayal. It's about feeling like you're not enough, like you're just one of many options. This type of behavior can leave you feeling insecure, anxious, and even paranoid. But how can you tell if this is what's happening in your relationship? In this video, we'll break down the signs to watch for and help you navigate the emotional turmoil that comes with it. Is she always on her phone? One of the first red flags you might notice is her phone habits. Is she constantly glued to her screen, even when you're supposed to be spending quality time together? This behavior can feel like a dagger to the heart, making you wonder if her attention is elsewhere. Phones have become a primary tool for communication, and unfortunately, that includes communication with potential new partners. If she's always texting, laughing at messages, or quickly hiding her screen when you come near, it's natural to feel suspicious. According to a study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, increased phone usage can correlate with decreased relationship satisfaction. It's not just about the amount of time spent on the phone. It's also about what or who is commanding that attention. While not every instance of excessive phone use is a sign of monkey branching, it's worth considering the context. Is her phone a constant companion, even more so than you? Trust your instincts. And if something feels off, it might be time to have a serious conversation. Does she accuse you of cheating or flirting? It's a painful irony when the person who might be straying accuses you of infidelity. Suddenly, you find yourself on the defensive, having to explain innocent interactions or justify where your loyalty lies. Accusations of cheating or flirting are classic projection behaviors, a psychological defense mechanism where someone attributes their own insecurities or actions to another person. This behavior can be both confusing and exhausting. You start to question yourself. Have I done something wrong? Or why does she think this way? It's important to recognize that these accusations could be a smokescreen, deflecting attention away from her own questionable actions. Dr. Sherry Myers, a licensed marriage and family therapist, notes in her book, Chatting or Cheating, when a partner consistently accuses you of cheating, often signals their own guilty conscience. This pattern of accusation is not just unfair. It's manipulative and can erode the foundation of trust in your relationship. Your relationship feels rocky. Every relationship has its ups and downs. But when it feels like you're constantly walking on eggshells, something deeper might be wrong. Does it seem like every little thing turns into an argument? Or maybe she's pulling away emotionally, leaving you feeling isolated and unsure of where you stand. This instability could be a sign that she's mentally, if not physically, preparing to move on. Relationships are built on communication, trust, and a mutual commitment to making things work. When those elements start to break down, the whole structure begins to wobble. If she's distancing herself, emotionally withdrawing, or becoming increasingly critical, it might be because she's already entertaining the idea of someone else. The shift in the dynamics of your relationship, more fights, less intimacy, and a growing sense of disconnection, could be her way of detaching herself from you. This rocky road isn't just tough to navigate. It's a warning sign that something or someone else is capturing her attention. Don't ignore these signs. A relationship in turmoil might be the prelude to something more concerning. Has she had many past relationships? It's natural for people to have some history before they meet you. However, if your partner has had a string of past relationships, it might be worth considering what that could mean. While everyone deserves a fresh start, a pattern of short, intense relationships that quickly fizzle out might indicate a deeper issue. Some people move from one relationship to another without taking the time to reflect on what went wrong or what they truly want. This could be a sign of emotional unavailability or a fear of being alone. In her book, Women Who Love Too Much, Robin Norwood discusses how some individuals might jump into relationships to fill a void rather than addressing their own needs and desires. If your partner has a history of quickly moving on from one person to the next, it could be a red flag that she's keeping her options open, possibly even while she's with you. Understanding her past can give you insight into her present behavior. Is she still talking to her exes? Does she compare you to them? These could be indicators that she hasn't fully moved on, or that she's already eyeing her next potential partner. It's important to have open conversations about her past relationships to understand how they might be influencing your current one. Is she highly insecure? Insecurity can be a relationship killer. If your partner is constantly seeking validation, worried about where she stands with you, or excessively jealous, it might stem from deep-seated insecurity. This lack of confidence can manifest in ways that are damaging to both of you. An insecure person may feel the need to always have a backup plan, someone waiting in the wings just in case things don't work out with you. This could lead her to engage in monkey branching behavior, where she keeps her options open by staying connected with other potential partners. Psychologist Dr. Lisa Firestone writes in PsychAlive, insecurity in relationships often leads to self-sabotage, where the fear of being hurt or abandoned causes a person to act in ways that push their partner away. If her insecurity is causing her to flirt with others, accuse you of infidelity, or withdraw emotionally, it's crucial to address these issues head-on. Reassuring her may help, but ultimately, she needs to work on her self-esteem and trust issues to build a healthier, more secure relationship. A partner who is secure in herself is less likely to feel the need to branch out to others while still in a relationship with you. Are dating apps still on her phone? In the age of digital dating, it's not uncommon for people to meet through apps. However, once a relationship becomes serious, most people would delete those apps as a sign of commitment and respect for their partner. If you've noticed that your partner still has dating apps on her phone, it's a glaring red flag. This isn't just about curiosity or keeping up with trends. It's a sign that she might still be exploring other options. Keeping dating apps installed, even if she claims she's not using them, undermines the exclusivity of your relationship. It suggests that she's keeping a door open, just in case something better comes along. This behavior can breed mistrust and insecurity, leaving you wondering if you're truly the person she wants to be with. Trust is a cornerstone of any healthy relationship, and having dating apps on her phone is a breach of that trust. If she's serious about your relationship, there's no need for those apps to be there. It's essential to have an open conversation about why she feels the need to keep them and what it says about her level of commitment to you. Does she have less time for you than before? In the early stages of a relationship, spending time together is usually a top priority. But if you've noticed that she's gradually becoming less available, canceling plans, or always too busy to see you, it could be a sign that her attention is drifting elsewhere. This subtle shift in priorities can be a major indicator of monkey branching. It's natural for life to get busy, but when someone truly values their partner, they make time for them, even amidst a hectic schedule. If she's suddenly too occupied to spend time with you, it might be because she's investing that time in someone else, or, at the very least, exploring other options. This lack of time together can lead to feelings of neglect and insecurity, further straining the relationship. Think back to how things were in the beginning. Has her enthusiasm for spending time with you waned? Does she seem more excited about plans that don't include you? These are signs that her commitment may be fading, and she's starting to emotionally distance herself. Addressing this issue is crucial before it leads to a complete breakdown in communication and connection. Is she flirty with other guys? Flirting is often seen as harmless fun, but when it happens in front of you, it can feel like a blatant sign of disrespect. If she's overly flirty with other guys, whether it's with a coworker, an old friend, or even a stranger at a party, it's a behavior that shouldn't be ignored. This kind of flirting isn't just about having a good time. It's about testing boundaries and seeing how far she can go while still being in a relationship with you. Some people flirt out of habit, while others do it to boost their self-esteem or gauge their attractiveness to others. However, if your partner is constantly engaging in flirty banter with other guys, it's a sign that her attention isn't solely on you. This behavior can be especially concerning if she dismisses your feelings or makes light of it, saying you're overreacting or being too sensitive. In any healthy relationship, respect is non-negotiable. Flirting with others, especially in your presence, chips away at the trust and security you should feel. It may be her way of keeping other options open, subtly signaling that she's not as committed as she should be. If this is a recurring issue, it's time for a serious discussion about boundaries and respect. Does she gaslight you when you call her out? Gaslighting is one of the most insidious forms of emotional manipulation. It's when someone makes you question your reality, memories, or perceptions to gain power over you. If your partner is gaslighting you when you bring up concerns, whether it's about her flirting, phone habits, or anything else, it's a major red flag. For example, you might confront her about a suspicious text, and instead of addressing your concerns, she turns it around on you. She might say, "You're just being paranoid," or "You're imagining things," making you doubt your own instincts. This tactic not only deflects responsibility, but also undermines your confidence in your judgment. Gaslighting can make you feel isolated and confused, eroding your self-esteem over time. In the book, Gaslighting: Recognize Manipulative and Emotionally Abusive People, Dr. Stephanie Sarkis explains, gaslighters lie about things you know to be true, creating an alternate reality where they are the victim and you are the aggressor. If this sounds familiar, it's crucial to recognize it for what it is, emotional abuse, and take steps to protect your mental well-being. Calling out your partner's behavior should lead to a constructive conversation, not a psychological power play. If she consistently gaslights you, it's a clear indication that she's not willing to take accountability, and it's time to reassess the relationship. She makes plans without you. One of the joys of being in a relationship is making plans together. Whether it's as simple as a dinner date or as elaborate as a weekend getaway, When your partner starts making plans that don't include you, especially on a regular basis, it's natural to feel sidelined. This behavior can signal that she's carving out space in her life that you're not a part of, which can be incredibly hurtful and confusing. It's one thing for her to enjoy some alone time or hang out with friends, but if she's consistently choosing activities that exclude you, it might be because she's intentionally distancing herself. Perhaps she's meeting new people or engaging in activities that she doesn't want you to know about. The fact that these plans are made without your involvement can leave you feeling left out and unimportant. Making plans without you could be a sign that she's not as invested in the relationship as she once was. It's important to pay attention to this shift in behavior. Is she excited about these plans, but reluctant to share details with you? This could be her way of creating a separate life, one that doesn't necessarily involve you. And it might be time to have an honest conversation about where the relationship is heading. Acts shady about her whereabouts. When someone is being secretive about where they've been or who they've been with, it's hard not to let your mind wander to the worst case scenario. If your partner is suddenly acting cagey about her whereabouts, giving vague or evasive answers, it's a clear sign that something is off. This kind of behavior can breed mistrust and create a rift between you. Maybe she's saying she's out with friends, but won't say who, or she's coming home later than usual without a solid explanation. These are classic signs of someone who's trying to hide something. This secrecy can feel like a punch to the gut, leaving you questioning not just her actions, but the entire foundation of your relationship. Trust is built on transparency. When your partner starts acting shady, it's natural to feel suspicious and anxious. You might start checking her social media or even asking mutual friends where she's been. But before jumping to conclusions, consider having an open conversation about why she feels the need to be so secretive. If she's unwilling to be honest with you, it's a sign that there's a deeper issue at play, one that could be tied to monkey branching or even infidelity. Doesn't commit to future plans. In a committed relationship, planning for the future is a natural progression. Whether it's discussing upcoming vacations, future living arrangements, or even long-term goals, making plans together signifies a shared vision of the future. But if your partner consistently avoids committing to future plans, it could be a sign that she's not as invested as you are. Maybe she's hesitant to talk about next year's holidays, or seems uninterested in discussing where the relationship is headed. This reluctance to make future plans could indicate that she's unsure about her commitment to you, or that she's keeping her options open. If she's not envisioning a future with you, it's worth questioning whether she's envisioning a future with someone else. Dr. John Gottman, a well-known relationship expert, suggests that avoiding future plans is a way for individuals to avoid emotional investment. When someone doesn't commit to future plans, it's often because they don't want to create emotional ties that might be difficult to sever later, he notes. If your partner is dodging discussions about the future, it's a red flag that shouldn't be ignored. It might be time to have a candid conversation about where you both see the relationship going. Does she lack a strong moral compass? Values and ethics are the foundation of a person's character. If your partner consistently displays behavior that conflicts with your moral values, it's a serious concern. Perhaps she's dishonest, manipulative, or makes decisions that harm others without a second thought. A lack of a strong moral compass can be a significant indicator of her overall approach to relationships and life in general. People with a weak moral compass often prioritize their own desires over what's right, even if it means hurting others. In the context of a relationship, this could manifest as infidelity, deceit, or other forms of betrayal. If she's willing to bend or break the rules when it suits her, it's likely she doesn't value integrity as much as you do. Psychologist Dr. Simon Baron-Cohen, in his book, The Science of Evil, discusses how empathy and a strong moral compass are closely linked. When someone lacks empathy, they're more likely to engage in morally questionable behavior because they don't fully grasp or care about the impact on others, he explains. If your partner shows a consistent disregard for ethical behavior, it's a serious red flag that she might not be the person you thought she was. A relationship built on shaky moral ground is bound to crumble. If you're noticing patterns of dishonesty, manipulation, or a lack of accountability, it's time to evaluate whether this is a relationship worth pursuing. A strong moral compass isn't just about following the rules. It's about being a trustworthy and reliable partner who values the well-being of others. Did you get into a relationship quickly? Falling head over heels can feel exhilarating. But when a relationship moves at lightning speed, it's important to pause and reflect. If you and your partner jumped into a relationship almost immediately after meeting, it might have felt like a whirlwind romance. However, moving too quickly can sometimes be a sign that one person is more focused on the thrill of the chase rather than building a lasting connection. Rushing into a relationship can create an intense bond, but it might also mean that you skipped some essential steps in getting to know each other. This haste can sometimes be a red flag, indicating that your partner isn't fully considering the long-term implications of the relationship. Instead, she might be caught up in the excitement and novelty without fully committing to what it means to be in a serious relationship. Relationship experts often caution against moving too fast, as it can lead to a relationship that burns bright but fizzles out quickly. It's important to ask yourself whether this rapid pace was mutual or if you felt swept along by her enthusiasm. If it feels like things moved too fast, it's worth considering whether she might be someone who enjoys the initial stages of relationships but struggles with long-term commitment. Does she avoid meeting your loved ones? Introducing your partner to your loved ones is a significant step in any relationship. It signals that you're serious about each other and that you want to integrate your lives. But if she's hesitant or outright avoids meeting your friends and family, it's a cause for concern. This reluctance could indicate that she's not fully invested in the relationship or that she's unsure about its future. There could be various reasons for her avoidance. Perhaps she's not ready for the level of commitment that meeting your loved ones implies. Or maybe she's keeping her options open and doesn't want to deepen her ties to your life. Whatever the reason, it's important to take note of this behavior and what it might mean for your relationship. Meeting each other's loved ones is an important milestone that helps solidify your bond. If she consistently puts off or avoids the step, it could be a sign that she's not as committed as you are. It's essential to have a conversation about why she's hesitant and whether it's something that can be resolved. If not, it might be time to reevaluate the relationship and consider whether you're both on the same page. Is she losing interest in you? When you first started dating, everything felt exciting and new. The chemistry was palpable, and you couldn't wait to spend time together. But now, it seems like the spark is fading. If she's showing signs of losing interest, whether it's becoming less affectionate, avoiding deep conversations, or simply seeming bored, it's hard not to feel hurt and confused. Interest in a relationship can wane for various reasons, but when it happens, it's important to address it rather than ignore it. Maybe she's distracted by other things in her life, or perhaps she's emotionally checked out. Either way, a noticeable decline in interest could be a sign that she's already looking elsewhere, or that she's contemplating an exit. It's not just about physical affection, though that's often the first sign. It's also about emotional engagement. Does she seem more distant, less enthusiastic about spending time together, or unwilling to talk about the future? These are all signs that her feelings might be shifting. While relationships naturally evolve, a sudden loss of interest can be a sign that something is seriously wrong. If you've noticed these changes, it's crucial to have an open and honest conversation about how you're feeling. Sometimes, acknowledging the problem can reignite the connection. But other times, it might reveal that the relationship has run its course. So, is she monkey branching you? The final verdict. After going through all these signs, you might be feeling a mix of emotions: confusion, hurt, or even anger. The truth is, only you can decide what's truly happening in your relationship. However, if several of these signs resonate with your experience, it's a strong indication that your partner might be engaging in monkey branching behavior. Monkey branching is ultimately about insecurity and the fear of being alone. It's when someone keeps one foot in the relationship while exploring other options, ready to swing to the next branch if things don't work out. This behavior is not only unfair to you, but it's also damaging to the relationship as a whole. No one deserves to feel like they're just a placeholder, waiting for something better to come along. If you suspect that your partner is monkey branching, it's essential to trust your instincts and address the situation head on. Have a candid conversation about your concerns and listen to her responses. Depending on how she reacts, you'll gain insight into whether the relationship is worth fighting for or if it's time to move on. Remember, you deserve to be in a relationship with someone who is fully committed to you and values what you bring to the table. If she's not willing to invest in the relationship, it might be time to find someone who will.